Hey, you guys.
Tetsman Tribe here. We have our boy Stokes home after 53 days in the NICU, and we've got quite a few things we want to share that we learned, and this time it'll be...
Yeah, so it's been a long journey, but we want to, as I'm processing everything that we went through, there's going to be these little thoughts and ideas that I want to share to make anyone's life easier as a NICU parent, and also as a parent in general. This should be able to tie in. So most of the time with NICU babies, from what I understand, is the baby is born or delivered and is whisked away to the NICU. So we don't always get that skin to skin, that time with the baby afterwards. And so dads usually go with baby and moms go into recovery. The first thing that you really want to do is, if you want to breastfeed or you want to pump and provide breast milk for your baby, is you need to let the team know. Let them know what the beeping's killing me. He drives me bonkers sometimes, y'all.
Didn't want it to be too long. Timing.
Okay, so you want to tell them ahead of time that that's a very important thing to you. I remember repeating it over and over and over again. And so they had a breast pump ready and waiting for me as soon as I got back to recovery room. They put it on me, laying flat on my back. They held it to me, and they ran the pump, and they sectioned what little was there out, and I basically started my timer. So the one of the main things to focus on is that you want to pump every 2 to 3 hours immediately after delivery. That's going to trigger your body while you still have some of that oxytocin or pitocin or anything flowing through your body, to get things starting to move. And you want to keep reminding your body. If you leave too much of a lull, it might not register that we need to produce that equivalent of milk. Obviously, colostrum is super important. And so I can distinctly remember this nurse, and I never would have thought about it. So this is a pump that is the hospital grade Mandela pump. These are the pieces. Phalange size is really important, and so I have smaller boobs. So I had the smallest phalange size. I think I could probably have gone even a little bit smaller on mine, but you're gonna put it on here, and laying flat on your back, you just have to keep it sealed and pump. Well, then when you're all done, you're not pumping high volume in the beginning. You're pumping quality. Very small amounts. I think I only had 7 milliliters my very first pump, and then it got less, and then I had 3 milliliters, and then I had less to nothing.
0.3 of a milliliter, and we're high-fiving each other. We got that.
So when it's that small of a volume, and you're here, you're gonna pull everything off, and there's gonna be liquid here. They'll give you a syringe. When it's attached to you, before you remove it, because then it might drip down, you're going to have your partner or your nurse or whoever is with you, and they are going to suction all around your nipple as you hold it down, because you want to get every single last drop. That's so important for the baby. If the baby was actually latched in nursing, they would be getting every single bit of that.
And the importance of that too is that at very first, that's colostrum. That is freaking gold for a baby. That's the most nutritious possible thing, full of all the probiotics and immune system supporting stuff. And so it's a tiny bit, but it's hugely impactful. That's why even taking the effort of getting these little 0.3 mLs is worth it.
Yeah, so if you're here and your boob is here, we're suctioning all around here. And then whenever it's time, we peel it back like this, and you're gonna notice some drop. You're gonna keep it up against your chest, your boob right here, and your partner is going to suction all here. Listen, we worked on every single drop you could possibly get. Mm-hmm. Once you start pumping more, it'll flow down into here. You'll get some here. So we were suctioning here. We were pulling it off and pulling it out of here. We went and found every crevice we could possibly find in our pump and suctioned everything out. And so that was a big deal. The next deal is to understand that you're not gonna be pumping bottles in the beginning. You're gonna pump syringes, milliliters,
yeah.
Tiny. That's
a 1 milliliter syringe.
1 milliliter. This is just it. 1 milliliter. So you're gonna be pumping this, and then when you go in, there's gonna be a point where you might not have anything, but don't stop pumping. That doesn't mean your supply went away. It just means that you hit that lull, the lull that's between your initial colostrum that you had pre-stored and then once your milk starts to come in. And sometimes that might be like a day or two where you're not getting anything. It might be 4 pump sessions. Just don't stop. So there was a point where I had 0.2 milliliters. So this much milk, 0.2. And
she made me, we're at a hotel, drive to the hospital and deliver that 0.2 through his NG tube.
And I got to, they let me give this through his tube. And it was the first time I got to feed him, which was like, that's all that we have left is our milk to give when our baby is removed from us and sent to the NICU. And so, you get to feed that baby and that counts. That little bit, I just bawled like a baby.
Yeah, I guess I drove other amounts, but that one, yeah.
It was pretty powerful. So those are all those important things. There's going to be a point where you're feeling defeated, like it's not working, like you're not pumping enough. And it's okay if you are not pumping the volume that they are administering in the beginning. That's a really hard thing to process because you feel like you're not keeping up. But the doctors are going by a scale of an average baby, and you're producing what your body says to produce. So just keep working on it and don't allow yourself to be defeated. Some of the things that help with stimulating, it's not just physical, it's also an emotional concept. So when you get emotional, when you have that, they call it the love hormone, oxytocin. So when your body releases that, it causes you to produce your milk. And so if you go and grab a blanket or a burp cloth or a lovey that was in your baby's space, their smell, it will help trigger that. Also, once you've used that and you've held it, you go give it back to your baby, and your smell will trigger good development for that baby, especially if you aren't able to hold your baby yet. The other thing is pictures and video. So if you pull up pictures and video of your baby, of your other kids at home, and watch those, I remember I used to sit there with my pump connected, watching videos of him moving his arms and legs, a little bit like this, but much smaller, and cry, allowing my emotions to flow. And it was almost like it poured from my eyes and then from my boobies. It was like this magical thing that helped just get it all out. Obviously, when you're pumping and trying to get a high supply, you're going to be pumping that much liquid out of your body. You need to be taking in even more liquid for your body. So
we'll step back to the emotional part. If that sounds odd, if you're like a straight science person, that has been consistently true. We have 4 kids. There's so many times she'll hear another baby cry or have some sort of other emotional response of like, give me a rag or something, because her milk starts coming in. So I've seen it. That's a real thing. As far as the water intake, dads, hey, we have to find our role, because this is a team effort, raising a family is, or partner, whatever. Mine happened to be keeping that water cup full because it was something she might forget to do. And then also seeking out nutrition happened to be my role. Maybe yours is different in the family. Maybe you're like the pump part wash. I'm going to wash the pump parts, put them by your bed. But find your role and kick butt at it, partners. Real quick, the nutritional things that science says or research suggests helps to stimulate breast milk. Bone broth, coconut, fenugreek, I'll come back to that, lentils, fennel, liver, oatmeal, garlic, chickpeas, sweet potatoes. Maybe find 2 of those, you're like, oh, I like garlic and sweet potatoes, eat them. One thing that was really cool is this mother's milk tea. It's mother's milk tea. I don't know what the brand is, but if you Google it, you'll find it. It has fenugreek, it has fennel, and some other herbs that supposedly help. I would make that for her. She didn't like it plain, but with what, lemon and honey, right?
No, you made it plain.
Oh, okay.
It's like an earthy taste, and he only made small cups of tea for me. It wasn't anything great. And I would have a setup. No, like, okay, I'm pumping at this time. You've got your alarm set, and you'll have your system. Create a system, because routine is really helpful in situations like this, because the last thing you need is to realize that you're hooked up to your pump machine and you forgot to get something or to go pee or any of that. So I always had my water the tea that he brought me,
The
my
straw.
phone
Yeah.
to watch
The videos.
and a friend of mine made me lactation cookies that were oatmeal with chocolate chip, and I would stack up 2 of those cookies there because I felt like intaking while I was trying to pump was helpful for me.
And the sucking.
So
right?
the sucking down a straw, so I tried drinking just from a cup of water and I felt like it didn't do enough for me. I needed to be able to just grab and suck down the straw. Whatever it did for me, the cold water helped me have a letdown or helped me, I felt like. And I think it's a lot of a mental game. So the biggest thing to come from all of it is that you have to keep trying. And I know it's hard and it's stressful to see that it's an empty bottle, but if you keep pumping those 20 minutes of pumping, then it will come. You will eventually figure it out, most of the time. And get some from the hospital, the lanolin cream. It helps because pumping is very different than breastfeeding. Your nipples will become very raw if you don't take care of them. So make sure you take care of them there, and use the hospital grade pump, especially in the beginning. They will rent them to you. You can rent it for $10 for
As long as you need it.
no, for 2 weeks for $10, and then you're charged after that. So you can rent it, and then at the bedside, when you go visit your baby in the NICU, pump there. Look at your baby, lower the baby's bed all the way to your level, and sit there in your little cave and cry if you need to, and pump. They should be able to bring you a pump to have there for you to have access to there. Also, I know it feels weird to just bust your boobs out and pump, but these nurses see it all day, every day. So yeah, if you guys have any questions about any of this, pumping or how we managed or what worked for us, please reach out and let us know. You can comment here. You can message us at the Titsman Tribe on Instagram or Facebook.
Last thing.
Oh,
I had a boy.
he's pooping. Things
So,
are moving.
We try to make this a 5-minute video. We're over 11. But if you were a first-time mom, this is our 4th kid, not knowing anything, what are some things looking back you would want to know if you haven't covered it already?
I would want to know about the Haka. A Haka, I don't have it here. We'll do another video on that though. It's a silicone suction that helps relieve the pressure when you start to become engorged. And then the heat and rice heat socks, heat compression and massage to help with those clogged ducts. It's the hardest time that you will have pumping and breastfeeding is going to be with your first baby because your body is learning it as it goes also. So extend grace to your body, and husbands, partners, spouses, be there and cheer them on and advocate for them, because it's not just one person that can make this possible. It's definitely teamwork.
Yeah. All right. Hope it helps. Y'all have a great day. Over.
Over.